If you took random objects and platforms from Super Mario 64 and scattered them randomly in the sky and added a magic carpet, what would that look like? What an interesting course design. We have traveled through various types of terrain, we've seen various elements, we've conquered bosses, we've raced penguins, defeated ghosts, and we end up here, the final course in the game, Rainbow Ride. I got a comment on one of my videos that said Rainbow Ride was like a playground for the developers, and I think that was a great way of explaining this course. I try to put myself inside of the minds of the developers sometimes when I'm analyzing these courses, and usually there's a gimmick or something that makes that really easy to do. But this one, it's weird, it's different. I don't know how I feel about Rainbow Ride, and yeah, it can be difficult, but at the same time, not really. What do you expect from the final course of a Mario game? Does it need to be super hard or super fun? Should it be the level they put the most effort into? Or is it just another level that happens to be the last one in the game? It's hard to pick up on the overall theme. I think it's easy to say the carpet is the star of the show here, but there's a lot of other things too going on, like the ship, which in my opinion is my favorite part of this course. I think it looks really cool. But other than that, not very appealing to look at. Nonetheless, we gotta talk about it. Hi, welcome back to the channel. Please don't forget to drop a like, I'd really appreciate it. I've been analyzing every Super Mario 64 course, and with this episode, we have officially analyzed every Super Mario 64 course. So if you haven't seen the other videos, feel free to go check them out. Alright, well, let's talk about the stars here. So first up, we got Cruiser crossing the rainbow. We take this carpet patiently all the way to the very top of this course. Well, it feels like the course does everything it can to prevent us from getting there, with various barriers in the way, so lots of jumping. And if you're not quick enough, it's easy to fall off, or if you don't jump back onto the carpet fast enough, it will go away. So there is a challenge here. But once you make it to the top, you grab the star. Not too bad. Then, the big house in the sky. So same thing, we're going to take the carpet, except this time we're going to go in a different direction. A little bit of a longer carpet ride into this big house, and eventually we make it to the top of that and grab another star. Next, the 8 red coin star. I think the goal here was for you to show off that you've learned how to navigate Mario, as you're going to need to do various long jumps and wall kicks to collect the coins for the star. But it's not particularly difficult, as it's very forgiving, so even if you fall, you just try again, eventually you'll get this one. I'm a little disappointed. The 8 red coin stars should really encourage exploration. In this case, it just wants you to do wall kicks, which would be fine if there was more of a challenge and a risk of falling off the course or something like that. In this case, you'll take a little bit of damage, but you'll just heal again when you collect another coin. Then we got Swingin in the breeze. So from the beginning of this course, you have the option to either take the carpet, or if you look behind you, you'll see there's a whole nother section over here and you can just long jump over to it. So when we do, we just navigate this little secondary part of Rainbow Ride, and eventually we'll find a star. And then tricky triangles, same sort of thing, will go the same way, except on the other side of this little area, there's these triangles that we have to hurry up and navigate to the top to grab another star. Then, somewhere over the rainbow, at least this one is a little bit challenging. Essentially, you go to the same ship on the very top of the course, and you have to jump into the cannon and fly over to this little island in the sky to break a block and collect another star. And then, everybody's favorite star in the entire game, the 100 coin star. I don't know, I feel like I hear a lot of negative things about this star in particular. It's difficult, and whenever a star is difficult in like a actual difficult kind of way, and not just like annoying or something that's out of your control, I tend to like that. So even though this isn't a favorite star by others, this is my favorite star in this course. The blue coins can be a bit tricky to collect, but once you get the wall kicks down, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So yeah, that's it. Once you collect the final star, assuming you played all the courses in order, you've collected your last stars needed to officially beat the game. From here, you can unlock the cannon outside of the castle to shoot onto the roof and find Yoshi, and be rewarded with 100 lives. Cool idea. So, overall, I'm somewhere right in the middle. I could see the argument from those of you guys who say you really don't like it, it's too hard, too challenging, not enough going on. But on the other hand, for those who really love the course, it was a genius design and the right amount of difficult. Sure, I hear you. You know, I've always loved this game. In every one of my analysis, I found a different way to bring that up. That this game was my childhood, that I grew up playing this, that It means a lot to me. But over the course of making these videos, I started to think about the game in an entirely different way. Because as I'm collecting these clips for the videos, I have to think about how I'm feeling. I have to make assumptions to what the developers are probably thinking while making it. I have to think back to my past and my childhood and compare that with playing the game then versus playing the game now. And I feel like I've gathered a lot to say, but I try to keep these videos relatively short because there's only so much you could say about one singular course. However, I made the decision to create a retrospective of Super Mario 64. So consider subscribing so when that video comes out you don't miss it. But other than that, thank you guys so much for following along with the series. Thank you so much for 400 subscribers. I'm new to this YouTube thing, so I'm just figuring it all out. Let me know in the comments what you think about Rainbow Ride. Also, let me know what you think about Super Mario 64 in general. And believe me, I've got plenty more ideas, so stay tuned. And thank you for watching.